friends, Varda here. Welcome back to my channel. I have always loved the look of stitching on cards. Stitching through die cuts or maybe hearts, and it just looks so dainty and nice. I've always loved it. However, creating something like this, especially when managing a bunch of pieces that need to stay a certain way while you're using your sewing machine, always seemed complicated. Even if I use something like, say, temporary adhesive, it should be in a place where it doesn't make my thread catch in it, and the needle is safe, and too many things to consider. And I never tried it before this. With this particular card, I actually used the press and seal, the glad press and seal, that you see all the crafters use for adding adhesive behind their die cuts and pieces. I use that product to hold my things in place and sewed right over it. Unfortunately, when I was creating this card, I did not record the video completely. So, what I did was I created another card where I recorded the process, and I'm happy to share that with you. I hope it helps. What you see me do here is I am planning to decide where my pieces will go, exactly how I want what colors to show where, and I'm just arranging them. And the two pattern paper pieces you see are just scraps from the previous projects, and I have fishtailed one end of them. That's it. Nothing fancy. I measured it against a card base, and what you just saw me show you is the Glad press and seal, the actual product that I used. I am making sure that the press and seal holds my pieces in place exactly how I want them to be. And then I took it to my sewing machine and sewed right through it. Nothing else, no adhesive, nothing. I wanted a double line, so I sewed once, then I repositioned it. I made sure to pull a little bit of extra thread so that I can separate the two sewing lines, and I again went back and sewed right through it. That's it. Just any kind of stitching, whatever type of stitching you want, whatever the settings on your machine, they are just standard. Nothing specific for this. The only thing to remember is using the press and seal to hold the things in place, and then after you're done, carefully peel it off. Make sure you hold your pieces, the back pieces, properly, and then you carefully pull it off. I found that the foil paper kind of got a little bit lackluster, but that might just be me and I might be overthinking it. What happened is, while I was manipulating all this, I realized that I had messed up the last piece of paper, and it was not showing exactly where I wanted it to be. So, what I did was I simply disconnected it. It's at the back, anyways, I can hide it. Disconnected it, and now I'm trying to measure exactly how big or how tall I want this entire arrangement to be. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I was taking my fingers or the entire arrangement outside the focus in some places, but you get the gist. I'm just trying to measure and maneuver and keep my arrangement in place. I actually went through a round of putting foam adhesive. I cut out that footage because eventually I didn't like that look, so I decided not to keep it. I just went with flat double-sided tape, strong adhesive, and I made sure that all the open-ended pieces of my thread were all secured so that they don't get caught or they don't become loose. I made sure that all the pieces on all the areas, so to say, on the back had proper amount of adhesive. I think I could have used liquid adhesive, except it was more convenient for holding the threads in place with the tape. So once I had my arrangement exactly how I wanted it, I wanted a hint of something more, like the lace washi tape that you see there. I went through couple different arrangements, just trying to play with it how I want it. Maybe add another piece on one side, maybe add it to this side, that side. I kept this footage here just so you know that I don't come up with perfect designs the first time. I play and I have fun while doing it, which is the whole point of crafting, in my opinion. So don't hesitate to do that, or don't feel guilty about it. It's your time. It's totally fine. um, After all this playing around and measuring and thinking and whatever. It is also okay not to like what you come up with and go with simply something completely different, which is what happened to me. So I tried to arrange this on the card itself, did not like it. I had not adhered or not securely adhered my washi tape. So I was able to carefully peel it off. And since it is washi tape, it's not too sticky, anyways. And after all the sticking around and pulling apart I had done already, it wasn't having that much of a strong adhesive. So that helped. Eventually, I went with this design where I added the washi tape as a horizontal line. I gave it a couple snipped edges on the two sides. First, I tried to just rip it off and give that look, but then I didn't like that look because my fishtail banner was not hand toned, so to say. So I still stayed with the proper trimmed off edges. I positioned where my arrangement should go. And for the sentiment, again, I played. I tried several different several different stickers, but then finally I decided to use "Love Your Smile." This is don't tell anybody. I think I'm going to give this card to my husband. We had this thing going about "Love Your Smile," like a private joke, but um, yeah, so I think that's what this card is going to be, because even if it has a hint of pink or something, it still has a lot of masculine vibes, so to say. I mean, it's not a girly card, and that's what I went with eventually. Even if it has a little bit of hint of pink, I decided to go with Love Your Smile, which is a blue sentiment. I mean, the puffy sticker is blue, and I added another white sentiment on the top, white heart puffy sticker on the top, and that's the final arrangement I went with. Once I was particularly happy with how everything looked, I took off the backer from my tape. For the thread, I actually left the backer in place because I didn't want to risk accidentally messing with the thread, pulling apart or something like that. I simply left it alone, and it didn't add that much of a bulk, so it wasn't making that arrangement wonky or anything. So I left it in place, and this is the final card that I came up with. I hope you like it, and I hope you like the actual idea of using something as simple as press and seal to add some incredible texture and a hint of different material on your everyday cards. I thoroughly enjoyed working with this idea, and I'm sure I'll repeat it. And not only for this, I feel like even if you are doing like die cuts, not just stickers or not just ephemera pieces, if you're actually using die cuts, unless they are very dainty, like dainty leaves or something, that might be tricky. But by all means, feel free to experiment and use what you have for newer things. um I think that's all for today. I hope you like this idea. I hope you'll give it a try, and if you do, don't forget to tag me. Thank you so much for dropping by and spending time with me today, and for putting up with my rambling. God bless you. Bye.